Today we'll answer two questions. One is, let's dig deep into growth marketing. And two, how come there are no microwave commercials on local television? So I've invited Jan Luts from Digital Leap to join the show. Welcome to the Sales Acceleration Show. And maybe you explain very quickly to our viewers what you do, but like in 30 seconds or something.
Thanks for having me. At Digital Leap, we are a growth marketing agency specialized in, of course, digital marketing, branding, and website development.
So what's the thing that annoys you the most? Because you've done so many websites, you've done so many of these analyses, you've done so many workshops. There must be one thing that every single time you think, Michael, this is nuts.
The thing I notice with every single customer we have is that they all have amazing content, but the content is actually created for their customers. Their current customers, not their future customers.
But isn't it because they want to catch I have a problem, I want to solve it today, I want a customer?
It's basically because the only thing they know to write about is the thing they are doing at the moment, and not the problem actually their customer has, the problem they are solving.
So you're saying if you want to scale, get more customers, write about your future prospect, not about the ones you have now.
Yeah, well, you should write for both, of course, but you should write more for your future customers.
So how do you do it then? Let's get very deep. You have your main page, you start with the prospect or you start with the existing customer?
No,
so how do you build it up? How should it look like?
You should always start with the problem your customer actually has. So if a customer actually lands on Google, sees your advertising, sees your websites appear in the search engine, you click on it, then he should actually have an answer to the question he had in the search engine. So if he doesn't...
On top, straight away.
Yeah, because if he doesn't get the answer straight away, he feels lost and he goes back and he thinks, okay, this is not the right page for me. That's basically...
And how much should you focus? Because that's the thing I've been struggling with. Is I used to talk only about the problem and the future, but I realized a lot of people got very confused and didn't understand. They said, yeah, but Michael, what do you do? So at what stage do you talk about products, or do you take the shortcut into I can solve your problem today?
As soon as you're actually scrolling down on the page, you can start talking more about the solution you actually offer to your customers, I guess.
So one of the things that must come back to you all the time is that I know so many people, they want a website, then 3 months later they say, I have a new idea, I want to change the website. So everybody I meet always wants to change the website. It's the major topic every single bloody time.
It's the major topic we actually have in the very first meeting with the customer is like, okay, what do you want from a website? What's your desired outcome now? But are you going to think about adding extra features to the website? Are you going to think about adding a learning management system to it, a community to it, these kind of things? We should know upfront, most of them, to make sure that we actually build a strong base on which you can build the future.
And what's then the system they should use? Because I think I had six, that's 5, right? We've learned that in school. I think I had 6 different website builders. I mean, it's crazy. So now I ended up with WordPress because you told me to do that. Mm-hmm. And I seem pretty happy for now until I want to change it. But
it all depends a bit on the size of your company, the size of the website, what you want to do with it.
But let's make it a bit more pragmatic, right? Because that's a very generic answer. I get it, but give some advice. Like, here's what I would do, or what would you recommend?
At Digital Leap, we actually use 3 different kind of systems. We actually use WordPress, which is most common for a lot of websites. We use Expression Engine and Craft CMS. Both Expression Engine and Craft CMS, basically because we came to love them over time.
But this is for large companies, or what's the difference?
No, it can be for small companies. We just launched a website for a really small business, which actually has just 2 employees. But it can be for a large website as well. I think websites of Netflix, IKEA, those kind of things are built on Craft, for example. So basically, they can handle every single size of website or company.
Yeah. So what would you then advise still? Because it's still, you have 3 systems. Who should use what?
It really...
I'm trying to corner you.
Yeah, I know you. No, it really depends on what the customer actually wants. If there are no special things which they actually need, like a community or a learning management system, we would advise to go to Craft because it's simple, it's really user-friendly, it has a simple UX UI, you can do everything with it, you can even extend it a lot, and it has an open API which you can interact with So you can basically write another piece of code and interact with it. We have a SaaS company which actually does an interaction from within their CMS system to the SaaS software itself. They actually create their content inside the
So, and
system.
what would you advise on WordPress? Because WordPress immediately goes into templating and etc. and all this.
Yeah, WordPress, because a lot of people can use it. There are millions of plugins, but also for the plugins, don't overdo these things, because we have seen websites with like 100 plugins which don't work anymore. And it's impossible to maintain if you have 100 plugins.
So what's the third thing? Because when we just joined the show, we were quickly chatting about budgets and all the stuff. So you had a big issue. It's always the same thing, Michael. What's the problem there? Yeah?
Yeah, budget is always an issue. People actually think a website should cost as less as possible.
As cheap as possible.
It should be as cheap as possible. But it's like your front door. It's like your store. You don't underdo on your front door.
But you're basically saying everybody's underestimating the price it costs.
Yeah, always. And they're always.
And what's the real cost? It's not the infrastructure, it's the making of, it's the design. Where is the cost? Because I know, we make a lot of content, we do a lot of design. Of course, it has a price, but I guess there is a lot more than that, right?
Yeah, basically, it's most companies we actually see coming to us with their website and say, okay, now we need a new website because 2 years ago we actually spent some money and now the website isn't working anymore. It's mostly because they actually spent way too few. Well, they actually had a really low budget and now the website is really slow. It has a lot of plugins. It's not maintained, and that's basically because of the low budget.
Yeah. So if you think about budgets, I remember my first was like 3-4K. And then we moved up, then it was about 8 to 9K. Now I'm hoping I shouldn't, but I think that's around, and actually it's pretty still low.
I think on average, website budgets at Digital Leap are 10 to 15K at least.
Yeah, and then you extend from where...
I don't think we have built a website under 10K in the last 2 years.
Any other frustrations, Jan? Now you're at the couch, you can talk to Michael, be honest.
Yeah, you're one of my frustrations.
Yeah, I know. But the main question we had actually, which all this build-up was done for one question. But Jan, how come there are no microwave commercials on television?
It's a good question. It was actually something I was wondering that you could ask.
I have no clue. So if anybody has a clue, put it in the comments, because we're really, really curious, because I think there is some gold over there. Thanks for watching the show. Big thanks, Jan. And I know your game was to get the budget higher for my website because he made it. So if things go wrong, you phone him, not me. Today we will... Wacht. Oké. Nee, wacht. Nee, zwijgt kinder. Thank you for watching the show. En dan weet ik niet wat... Moet ik nog iets zeggen? Nee, jij cut dat gewoon af.